And as you make your way down this path and further into the garden, I want you to look around. Tell me if there is anything that you notice, anything that you sense, anything that stands out to you in this place.
I don't know, kind of anxious.
You feel anxious?
Um,
Tell me about that feeling of anxious. Where is that located?
now,
Your heart. Let's bring our attention to the heart, just focusing the energy, focusing your attention on that heart space. And as you feel that feeling of anxiety, I want you to make it bigger. Expand it out. Really feel into that anxious feeling. And as you do that, what is that anxiousness that you're holding? Where did that anxiousness come from? What's the first thing that comes to mind?
I'm afraid I'm not doing well. I'm not up to the task. It's failure.
Very good. And what is it that you're afraid of not doing well at? What comes to you?
This session, any task.
So let's follow that feeling of failure. Let's expand that feeling, that anxiousness, that anxiety, making it bigger, stronger. And let's follow it back through time. And I'm going to count you back from 3 to 1. And as I count you back, we're going to follow that anxiety through space and time to the first time that you felt that feeling of failure, of not doing good, not doing well, not being up to the task. 3, drifting through time and space. 2, finding the very first time that you felt the feeling of failure. And 1, be there now. And as you allow the information to easily begin to drift and float in, what is the first thing that you notice or sense around you?
I think I'm a child.
Very good. Are you male or female?
I'm me in this incarnation.
Are you? Okay, very good. How old do you feel?
Young, 8.
8. Very good. And as you focus in on you in this scene, what do you notice around you? What's happening?
I'm doing homework. I don't understand.
What don't you understand?
I think it's math. And my father is screaming at me.
How does that make you feel?
Restless. Stupid. Afraid. stressed out.
Mm-hmm.
If I don't get it right next time, he screams more, it might hit me.
And so I want you to take a moment in the scene to allow yourself to connect telepathically with your father, just connecting mind to mind. And as you connect telepathically, you'll begin to understand what was causing him to yell and scream at you in anger. What types of emotions and feelings was he experiencing at that time?
He's reminded of his own worthlessness. He felt stupid because he didn't have a proper education. He doesn't want to look at it, and I'm showing him that. I'm reminding him of that.
Mm-hmm. And so now that we understand that he was simply projecting his own feelings of worthlessness onto you, let's bring some healing to this scene so that we can begin to release these feelings that you've been carrying for so long. And I want you to call in the light of source. We're just going to bring the light of source into this scene. And I first want you to visualize yourself as this little girl simply trying to do her homework, trying to learn. We're going to pour the light of source over your 8-year-old self, bringing in love and compassion, bringing in strength, just allowing that energy to completely wash over you. And then we're going to extend that powerful source energy to your father. So just visualizing that same beautiful healing energy that has the ability to transmute all of those low frequency thoughts and emotions, pouring it over your father, allowing him to really feel the love of source, feel the love that maybe he didn't have when he was growing up as well. Tell me what happens as you both receive this energy. What do you notice?
We're calmer. My anxiousness subsides.
Mm-hmm. What do you notice as you look at your father as he receives this energy? Do you notice anything different? Does he change in any way?
He's crying.
Mm.
But it's so many layers. He's still.
And if he could speak to you about this experience or even other childhood experiences, what would he say to you? What would he want you to know or understand now?
I'm so sorry. I didn't know. I didn't know how to give love. So sorry.
Very good. So let's bring that powerful healing light back into your heart, focusing on the area where that anxiety, where you felt that feeling, and just flood it through that space. with the intention of releasing all of that energy. And tell me how that feels or what you notice as you do this.
I feel release. It's a release.
Mm-hmm.
I feel this anxiety is gone.
Very good. So, as we're focused on your father, you experience quite a bit of abuse from him as a child. What do the guides want you to understand? What does your higher self want to bring through about that experience? What do you need to understand?
She understands already a lot. He chose this experience.
Why did she choose this particular experience?
I get the word catalyst.
Mm.
I also get the word help.
Mm-hmm.
She wanted to help. She always wants to help.
And so, is she still holding any trauma in the body from the experiences she had as a child? Can we scan through the body and see if anything stands out?
Her left side.
Mm-hmm. Is it the entire left side or is there a specific area?
Heart downwards.
Mm-hmm. So, once again, calling upon that beautiful healing source light, just allowing that energy to flow into the crown, flowing down the side of the face and concentrating and focusing that energy specifically on the left side. We're releasing any trauma from this current life. Just transforming and transmuting that energy. Allow that energy to flow down the left side of the body, flowing all the way down to the tips of your toes. And as that energy flows in, tell me what you notice or how you feel.
As if the body is out of alignment.
Mm-hmm. What's causing the being out of alignment? Is that just because the energy is not balanced? Or is that something else?
I think it's an imbalance in energies.
Mm-hmm. So what do we need to bring into the body today to balance those energies for Daniela?
I get the feeling Metatron is here.
Oh, beautiful. Welcome. Thank you for joining us today. What can we do to assist Daniela in releasing these traumas that she's been carrying for too long? What does she need?
She's doing it. I just assist her with alignment.
Very good. How will you bring her back into alignment? What will you do?
Her hip was off. Just through geometry. The pattern was a bit off. I just restored the original blueprint, which is a geometrical pattern significant to her only.
Mm.
It's a little bit like what she was drawing as a child.
Can you tell her a little bit more about those geometric figures? What were they for?
It's her name. She was just doodling her name. And she wanted to not lose the connection, the memory. She hated that. She had to give up. She felt she gave up so much.
So she wants to know, Metatron, are you one of her main guides?
Yes.
How are the two of you connected? What's your relationship?
She's my child.
Hmm. Can you tell her more about that?
She has to calm down. She's too emotional.
And what does she need to understand more about how she can do that?
She has to learn to manage her emotions. I mean, she's doing it already much better than in her younger years.
Hmm.
She came into this experience on Earth. Her emotions are the key. She wanted to know how that feels. As we are very straightforward and clear, she wanted to feel the abundance of emotions. That's why she even chose the zodiac sign of a Scorpio. She didn't want to leave out any facet. She wanted to experience it all. She had the feeling she bit off a big piece.
Hmm.
And she had a hard time in her younger years, even more, to balance them out. But she's doing pretty well now. She made a big stride forward. She's very hard on herself. She wants it all now, without delay. She has to remember the journey is the goal. She has to slow down. I know she hates that. But we tricked her with Qigong, so she loves Qigong now.
Hmm. Where does that need for speed come from that she feels?
That's what we are. This is a shred of memory she held on to.
Hmm.
She feels when she lets go of the speech, it severs her connection, but it's not true. We are always connected. And I know she does already. She finds joy in slow motion all of a sudden. And she realizes things she did not even realize before because she was already gone. And she got accomplished a lot because of that. But please, less doing and more being. She's doing so great. She's her toughest critic.
Why is she so hard on herself?
Yeah, the drive is so strong.
Where does that drive come from?
Again, that's our energy.
Mm-hmm.
It's difficult in this lower vibration to translate it.
Yes. When you say our energy, can you tell us a little bit more about where she comes from? Where does that energy she feels come from?
The source.
Mm.
She never wants to speak to anybody else except the boss. She calls him the boss. She did that in her. She did that in her when she had her, when she was still employed, even in her jobs. Never dealt with the in-between people. Always straight to the boss. She always felt it obsolete. Why dealing with the in-between? But now she discovered that Jesus is also great. So I guess she makes us laugh a lot. Love her and laugh a lot. So
Mm.
even in her struggles, she's funny. I don't know. We don't laugh about her. We laugh with her. And it's interesting. She never went into the entertainment field on earth. And she's not a people pleaser. She's not a people person. That comes from Metatron. It's just she doesn't want to please people. It's brought her a lot of trouble sometimes, this straightforwardness without any diplomacy. And then she had to deal with the emotions, being so sensitive. And when it came back, this straightforwardness, then all of a sudden she was hurt. So the biggest challenge is emotions until, but they're so great and they're such a helpful tool. So she learns that now. I think Jesus had a big saying in that. He guided her to the Course in Miracles that helped her a lot. Valuing those emotions as tools and not as hindrance or, yeah.
So, one of her questions is she would love to bring more gentleness and tenderness into her behavior because she's always so tough and strong. In what ways can she begin to do this?
There's only one thing to say, Jesus. That's why he's here. She has to connect more with him.
Mm.
She is my child. She is, of course, Source's child, but she's my Metatron's child. She is this clear-cut energy that is strong and has only Source to report to, if you want to call it that. But there is also so much else to explore. I think she's getting that now. I think actually since yesterday she's getting that. All of a sudden she feels this appreciation for life.
Mm.
She never was really grateful for this life she's living. She took it for granted. And she looked down a little bit on it. So it's, oh, whatever. I know different things. What should I play there? I think Source took her under her wings and she showed her that home is always there. She's desperate to go home, but I know she has ants in her pants. She can stand it for some time and then, please send me on the mission. I want to play. Let me play. I think it's, she can come home. Eventually we all go there and we rest. But just now that you get the hang of it, now enjoy it. Enjoy it and teach others to enjoy it. So much to learn on this, what do you call matrix? It's all is a matrix. It's all a matrix anyway. It's all in your mind. It's the game you play. You love to play games. You do it on your computer. You do it on your phone. What the heck? So play it. Go out and play it and enjoy it. You can enjoy it. We try to remove as much as we can from this darkness that was getting to you at one point. You did a lot yourself. And you also understand, without the darkness, you would not be able to play. You feel this appreciation for the darkness that has so many names in your culture. But it's also just source. You have to understand. And it's a difficult path to walk. You tried it, remember, you tried to walk, and I think you tried it once and you said, please go back, I want to come back. It's a very difficult path to walk, and you chose not to walk it, you not to continue, that's fine. And you chose the path of light, that's also difficult at times, but you know, it's still so much more fun. You just love the fun too much to walk the path of darkness.
Beautiful. So she does feel like she's wondering if she's had many Earth incarnations, and will this be her last one? You've already mentioned she's ready to go, but what can you tell her about that?
She's right to think she didn't have too many. She dabbled in a few. So this witch thing was when she was burned at the stake. But she gave that up because that is too dark for her. So she took something in this life, but that's why she chose her grandma, who was very religious, very to the Bible religious Christian, Catholic. So she was exposed at a very early age to this religion that she instantly rejected. Not all of it, but she saw through it very early. And she was mad at the priests because she saw as a representative for this Inquisition. And she watched a lot of movies about witch hunts and did a lot of reading on that, and she got it finally. She got it. She made peace. And now I think her best friend could be a priest. She would have no problem with that. So she did it herself. You don't have to look into that. And she had a few lifetimes. She knows about Greece. She was Greece. She was in Cuba. She knows that. In Chicago, I think that's why she wanted to come back also to the States. This connection. She loved America. This gave her some freedom of expression that you didn't find in the old world. And she was in Atlantis, but she's not too connected to that. And she was more interested in life off planets. That's why she has all these interests since early ages in aliens and spaceships, and of course speed. The car is not fast enough. Let's take a spaceship. And as long as she went into every movie that was available, as long as they were flying into space, even if the plot was beyond. As long as she could sit in the spaceship and fly with them aliens, she was in her thing. It was hers. So
she feels like she sees spaceships in the clouds and in the sky quite a bit. What can you
yeah.
tell her about that?
She knows they're there. She sees them. She even saw them without clouds because she was doubting, it's only the clouds. I make it up. So they showed themselves. They said, well, what do you do with that now? She even has it on video. So she didn't share it, the video. She finds everybody has to make his own contact, so to speak. She had a contact experience which was shared with her actually families and friends that were there.
Is that the rainbow lights?
Yeah, and it was
What were
seen on.
those? Was
It
that
was
just a
just a
spaceship?
teaser. A teaser. Yeah, I think it's this. The aliens start teasing humanity now. They get comfortable with this phenomena that they cannot explain. And they will go on a more individual level, I think, because they tried to go on a government level that didn't work out too well. Backfired a bit. Now they have this other thing going on. Okay, let's talk to the regular guys out there who wants, hey, who we out here, who wants to listen. We are here. And she always knew since childhood that it's real. So she had nobody to talk to about that, but she always knew. That was never a question. I think she never talked because she would have felt weird that nobody else thought the same way. I mean, for her, that was a done deal. It's just weird that nobody really showed it on the TV. That's why she went into the science fiction movies. And with her mother, I think she was, this was like a religion. They watched Star Trek, which is called Ramshift Enterprise in her language. And her mother and her, they were glued to the TV. This was it. This was it. Now she understands that it was really it, that Roddenberry had contact with ETs, and she understands this all now. So she's very into that.
She's wondering why her mother seems to have changed, and now she can talk to her about these reptilians and the
mother
angels.
didn't change. The mother didn't change. She opened up. The mother was the same. The mother is the same. She's not as aware as she is, but her mother actually told her about her experience. The mother almost drowned as a child. She wanted to go home. She didn't want that life either. She saw this. She saw her husband in the making. She didn't want to come.
Are they soul family, her and her mother? Are they from the same?
Yeah.
Soul group?
They were always together.
Yeah.
And she's right. She was her mother once. It was reversed. In a lifetime, she was the mother of her mother, and vice versa. She was the child. They're very close. They're very connected. And as she woke up now, she's helping her mother on, so to speak. And they're very connected now. On a heart level, life gets to you in this incarnation, and she always loved her mother immensely, very much so. And she had to heal her heart because she was 5 years living with her grandmother and felt her mother didn't love her. That's why she left. She only saw her mother once a week on Sunday dinner. And then the mother left again, but she dealt with that. So that thing is healed. We don't have to address that. She had a very strong connection with her mother. That's why she came in. She could take her dad only because of the mother. They decided to do that together to heal that line. Yeah.
Has that line been healed now?
This is the brother. The brother is so suffering. The son.
What is happening with her brother? Why is he having so many struggles in this life?
He shut down his heart entirely. entirely. This is big, like you could say it's a tank. Instead of the heart, there's a tank.
Is that from this life experience, past lives, or a combination?
Many lifetimes.
Is there any heart healing that we can bring for him today? Would his guides and higher self allow us to send some healing energy?
He's very closed up, but I know she wants to help him so much. She always did. She always did when they were little. Even though they were fighting, she was always protecting him. We can sense some healing energies. He has a girlfriend who is a healer. She's doing her best and she's working. She's working with his guides. But we can sense anything helps, everything helps, because he's very tough. The soul is a very big soul, but it's a very sensitive soul, but took everything to heart. He took so much to heart, lifetime after lifetime, that all he knows to do is protecting the heart like this.
So what does she need to understand moving forward, just to be able to have a conversation with him, because it's been so difficult in the past? What can she do to help that a little bit?
She does, and she did all she could. She sent him love and healing. She can help maybe in this incarnation with doing another ancestor healing session for him, which is also connected to her. Then she can see that she does not have to fall into every one of his triggers all the time. Because the trigger he sets out is just a cry for help, and she understands. That's why she was so devastated after the last call, because all these attacks she knew, they were just his soul trapped and crying to help. But she has to understand that he is on his journey as well. And she cannot take away this experience from him, because he has to have the experience of breaking that tank up on his own. She doesn't want to take away the satisfaction of him feeling this. And he finally does that. And he will do that. Maybe not in this life, but there's no end. We know that. She has to come to a point, and she's pretty much at peace with him. And she has to accept that it's up to him. And she doesn't have to take his attacks, that's true. She could stand it as long as she could, without getting harmed herself. But just continue sending love, healing, and understanding.
Can we send some healing energy today back through that ancestry line? It's helping to release any of those energies that they've been carrying and passing person to person.
Yes, it goes deep down. It goes many generations back. A lot of darkness.
You just bring in the light of source and send it back through as many of those deep layers as we can get that energy to go. And so she experiences a lot of anger around the family issues and wants to understand how she can release and overcome that. Is that anger being held in the body anywhere that we can release for her today?
Yes, it's in the solar plexus.
Mm-hmm. Can you release that energy and pull that out for her in that area?
I need some assistance.
Mm-hmm. What would you like to use? Do you need a tool to release that,
I need
to bring in some
Archangel.
light?
I need Archangel Michael.
Very good.
I need this sword.
Let's ask Archangel Michael to step forward, please, bringing your sword and assisting Daniela with releasing any of that dense trapped energy in the solar plexus. And let me know what happens.
It's feeling lighter.
Mm-hmm.
I see this blue flame.
Beautiful.
Breathe deeper now. It's nice.
And so, as Archangel Michael works to release all that energy with his flaming blue sword, let's bring in a healing energy and begin to surround that area. What color would you like to use?
Gold.
Gold. Very good. Just visualizing that chakra, that solar plexus chakra, just being filled with that beautiful golden energy, making it bright like an inner sun in that area, expanding it out. And you can just allow that golden energy to flow through every cell of your body, bringing all of that healing energy throughout. Tell me how that feels.
Wonderful. Very light.
Very good. And is that anger being stored anywhere else in the body?
No.
Very good. So while we are looking through the body, she experienced thrombosis 27 years ago. How does that look? Is there any, she's still dealing with some bad blood circulation and vein problems. Any healing around that needs to happen?
Yes.
She's noticed her left hand is numb. I don't know if it's tied to that or that left side healing we did earlier.
Yeah, that was part of that.
Bring in some healing for that circulation, making sure that the blood is circulating through her body in the way that it should.
She has to release the idea that the doctor told her 27 years ago that there is no healing possible for this. She knows, but a part of her still holds on to that.
Can you release that for her today? Can that be let go of?
She has to forgive the doctors. She's very much in battle with them. That comes from other lifetimes too, also when she was the witch. She was not fighting only priests, but also doctors. But the doctor is more persistent because it's still, I think it's still more powerful, especially now in these times in the incarnation.
So, what does she need to understand about her ability to heal?
She understood it again yesterday, watching a YouTube video by Dr. Stephen Greer, which she was not so happy about because she somehow felt he's from the dark side, which he's not. And he was a doctor. And she had to deal with him being a doctor and doing all this nods towards doctors and nurses and the science behind that, and ringing the Tibetan singing bowl. We had fun showing her that. But she got the hint, and I think it starts now the healing that because she never had anything against surgeons, so she understood in an emergency situation it's nice that somebody can sew on your limb.
Mm-hmm.
She always had respect for this trade, for these surgeons, but of course the other doctors is another story in her life. And then of course she was at war with them, and then she got only the creme de la creme, meaning she got those that she wanted to battle. But that's why also this is connected to her teeth. She just went to the dentist because she always valued her beautiful teeth so much. This was her beauty asset, so to speak. Just to find out after she was in her 30s that this dentist never realized that she had a heavy parodontosis, meaning her gums were disappearing.
So, tell us a little bit about the teeth, because she's not wanting to get implants where she lost the teeth, but is there anything that she can do to heal, to regrow teeth? What does she need to understand?
I know she came across this. I don't know, it was an article. It was a doctor actually who made some experiments, and he managed that a woman could regrow or start regrowing teeth. She didn't get a full set of teeth, but she got roots and they came in. So never to a full tooth, but at least it showed it's possible. It will in the future, no doubt about that. That's an easy task. This will not be on. This is nothing. She shouldn't get an implant. She's right about that. Although she would like to have beautiful teeth again, but I don't want her to get an implant. It's too invasive.
So it's not connected to, because she feels like she also struggles with eating too much sugar. Is that connected to the teeth in any way?
It didn't help the agenda. I mean,
never does it?
But then there are people who ate sweets their whole life and they have a full set of teeth, so it's not only that. No, she wanted to get rid of the emulsion and the toxins. That was a big part of it. To detox the body, that's very important. The toxicity level is so high in the earth at the moment. The darker it gets, the higher, of course, the toxicity, that's connected. And it will clear, but in the meantime, you have to do your best to keep the toxins as low as possible. That's why she was this raw food vegan she so much misses. She had to get rid of a lot of stuff that was accumulated. Not as much as she would have been an American, I have to say. So she grew up pretty healthy and was always outdoors in the woods. Even though she's a city child, but a city child in Austria means the countryside in America. Okay. So she did that, but she had to get rid, otherwise she could not have made the connection with us so easily, you know. It prevents you from connecting. That's what the darkness wants, isn't it? So that's why, of course, toxicity is so high. And this includes everything. It's not only food, it's not only the toxins in the food, in the water, in the air, everything, in the televisions, and in the all the gadgets you love so dearly, you know. It's a lot.
Just keeps us stuck in the third dimension, doesn't it?
Yeah, it is. It locks you in. But as she had last time we nudged her because she always sees the chemtrails when she does her qigong, and it annoys her so much. And last time, take a video. So she took a video and she sent it to a few people who would understand that. And it was actually a great video that in the end she said, but it's over, baby.
Yeah.
It's no more. It does not do nothing anymore. So we have to understand it's coming to an end.
And so speaking of, she did the raw food vegan, but then she became ill with what she felt like was E. coli poisoning and got off of that way of eating. What happened there?
Yeah, we had to stop it. She wasn't ready. Her body was not ready for that. It was she did it for 7 months anyway. And she remembers nobody of her friends even thought she can go a week. So, and she got so hung up on it that she neglected her spirituality, you know. It was all about the food and the healthy eating and the body, and, you know. So we had to put a stop on it because she was speeding ahead again in a direction. She took the torch and ran with it. It's great. I mean, it's the lifestyle that is recommended in this incarnation, in any bodily incarnation, actually, to go. If you cannot do 100% as she did, do as much raw as you can. It's you're consuming light, you know.
Yes.
But she would have flown away without her mind, and her mind would have stayed behind, you know, not knowing what's going on, you know. We had to stop that.
So do you mean because she was taking in so much light through the fruits and vegetables that she wasn't grounded enough?
No, exactly. The body was ready to lift off, and
I think she would have wanted that to happen. She's ready to go.
No, this was out of alignment. Again, this speed. So that's why she slowed down. Now she's having the breakfast now, the vegan breakfast, and maybe she can start mixing it up again, because she eats this for 2 years the same breakfast every morning, and she doesn't get tired. We are surprised she doesn't get tired of it. So just don't overdo it, because we want you to be able to eat fruits in the future too, not just getting so fed up with them that you don't want to look at them again. So mix it up a little bit. You have many recipes.
What does she need to understand about the sugar cravings that she gets? How can she get that into control?
We helped her with that, and she's conscious about it. That's already a big step. It's she holds on to that because it's the only addiction that she ever had in her life. She tried smoking. She smoked for some time. And just stopping it. It was ridiculous because she never got addicted. She drank alcohol and she was doing that in her young years and never got addicted. Stop that. And she did sex and it was fine. It never got addicted. Did that. She never was interested in hardcore drugs.
Mm.
We made her stay away from that, and she knew she doesn't need that. She can fly without that. And she was only convinced to smoke a joint at one point because they wouldn't stop pestering her about that. You have to try it. You have to try it. Oh, what the? Let me try it. So of course, like with everything, she either doesn't do it or she does it wholeheartedly. She smoked such a big joint that she almost collapsed in the bathtub because she took a bath, and we had to make sure she's not drowning in the bathtub because she was out.
No.
And then she said, oh my God, this is ridiculous. So she never touched that again because it never gave her what she was really looking for.
Mm-hmm.
And she was looking for, it was just us connecting to us.
Mm-hmm.
And we told her, you don't need that, and she listened. So the sugar is the thing. Leave me one thing, and I want to be like all of them. I want to be addicted. Give me some addiction. But she can have that's what she's doing now since a few days. She always checks in with us after the food. Can I have a little bit of this chocolate?
Sounds like me.
You can. But we told her don't go for the milk chocolate stuff, which is filled with something. Go for the dark chocolates.
Oh,
Here you can go dark. Please go dark.
Please go dark. I love it. Yeah.
And it's okay. You can have that. And as a raw food, she didn't need it because it was. In every food actually is a bit of sugar in there, especially when you eat it raw. You get so much sugar in it that the body doesn't need extra sugar. You have no craving for sugar. And she experienced that. She went by so many ice cream trucks. She could not even understand that she was not even had an inkling to stop and get an ice cream from them. She had left and right people eating sweets, and she didn't care, because that's what it is in the raw material, so to speak. In the every vegetable has, of course, a trace of sugar. It's the sunlight. Sunlight makes it so sweet. See?
Beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for that. She is wondering, she was born with a stork bite that covered her left hand, and she's wondering what the significance of that was. And again, that's on that left side. So is there a connection?
All I get is she knows she was lying in the womb on that side, on the hand. And it felt so comfortable. I think she didn't want to move. She was too big already to move. She came very late into the fetus. She didn't want to go in at an early stage. And then she was in and she couldn't stand it. She said, let me get out. And she was actually an early baby. She came at 8 months. And I think she was resting on her hand too long. It was just comfortable, and that gave her, it was a physical thing. And then it's, she turned it into a challenge, as always. Not enough challenge to deal with the emotions. No, let me add. So another challenge to overcome that she was somehow marked. And on top of that, of course, we are left-handed, because nobody was left-handed there, and told her mother that she actually has to train her right-handed, otherwise she wouldn't be able to learn in school. And her grandmother also advised her mother, this is from the devil, and mark and all that things. And my mother stood firm. She knew. She knew. And she did not touch that, and so that's why she could express her left-handedness. I think her father listened and tried to teach her, and he's only succeeded that she can eat her soup with the left hand, and not only with the right hand, and not only with the left hand. But and she became a little bit more dexterous with her right hand, so now she can switch hands if she wants to. But she definitely is left as a right brain controlled, left-handed, and she was the best in her class. I think that made her do that because she is not overly ambitious, but just angered her when the teacher said, "Oh, you're left-handed, you might not be able to keep up." So she excelled in every subject. But she got bored after a short time, and she said, "Oh, whatever, I don't need to be that." Only when it mattered, then she became the grade A student. So in her final, what you would call her high school exam, of course, she was A+. Before she was not. She didn't care about these things. She was actually bored most of her lifetime. It's getting interesting now, isn't it? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. That is the truth. She was in a workshop, the first family constellation healing workshop, and she experienced the feeling of unconditional love when they were in the circle, and invited the presence of Jesus into it. Can you tell her what was happening there?
Well, Jesus was there.
Mm.
Whenever he's invited, he's coming. As long as your intentions are pure. And this was a wonderful group. It was a weekend workshop. And they were just dedicated on raising the vibration and frequency, so it was easy to come. And yeah, I gave them some healing.
And she wanted to know, how can she tap into that energy again on a regular basis if she chooses?
On a regular basis, then she has to be in samadhi, then she's a guru. And I don't see her wanting that. She can tap into that. I think she told it today that she'd never experienced it again, but it's not entirely true. She just, with her need for speed, does not fully feel it. So that's why we have to bring her down a little bit. Her energy. She loves her energy level, but we have to slow her down a little bit.
Yes.
Then she will experience more fully and more deeply. She's rushing through this life experience. There is no finish line, okay? There is no finish line. The race is the goal. The race is the goal. So you can slow down. You can make pit stops. You can linger whenever you want. You still see the finish line. Still make the finish line, no worries. And you don't want to even be the first, I know that. So it's okay. So journey on. It's wonderful. So she had these experiences of this love. She saved the butterfly just recently, which she knows it was a miracle the way she saved it, the circumstances. It was a miracle from first to last second. She felt that love. The love came from the butterfly, but it's still me.
Can we bring in that feeling of love for her to feel today?
She blocks it.
Why is that?
She doesn't feel worthy enough.
What does she need to understand about that?
You know that you're all one. Nobody stands higher than you. Nobody is lower than you. So, of course, you can be connected to Source all the time. And you are. So, if you're connected to the boss, you can allow me to. She will feel it. She's not fully there yet, but she's feeling it.
Very good. So she's been putting healing frequencies in her baking. And at one point, her baking business sort of took off. Was that because of the frequencies that she was putting in, or what was happening there?
You're living in an electric universe. Of course, everything is electricity and vibration, frequency. So she discovered the power of intention. She thought it's this music she's listening to, this healing music, but that just helped her on, so to speak. It's your intention that sets the tone. And she always baked with love, so that's why she was always successful with her cookies and cakes, whatever she does, because it comes from her heart. And people feel that they not only taste better, it's also, you get the energy. It does not disperse when baked. And she packages everything with love. She likes to do everything. That's why she has no helper. She cannot let go of it because she loves to make the dough. She loves to bake. She loves to package. She loves to ship. And then in between, she's complaining when it's getting busy. Oh my God, how can I do all that? And we taught her how she can manage that. So she goes with the flow now, and she's amazed that she only gets as many orders as she can fulfill in a very speedy but very conscious way. And she's never overwhelmed again with orders that she has to work day and night, which she did in years before. And she always got sick around Christmas, and we stopped that. But her business also grew. It also grew because she dedicated more time to it because of this virus, so-called virus that's on your plane. She could let go of the other jobs that she wanted to let go of, but she never can let go of things. This is hard in her life. She doesn't be the one who walks out on friendships, who walks out on men. She doesn't want to give up jobs. She always turns it so either they kick her out, they walk away. That makes her feel better, though in the end she must know she actually initiated that and she did it. But it makes her feel better when the other one takes the initiative and goes and leaves. So she could let go of all these jobs and dedicate her time to baking. And that's why her business also is growing.
And so she's feeling drawn to some healing modalities, including the Beyond Quantum Healing hypnosis work. Is this something that she should pursue?
Yeah, I will answer this question after this question, please.
Okay.
We have to go to the bathroom.
Yes,
But
absolutely.
I can answer this one. It's
Okay.
Yes, she was drawn to this work. That's why she started this family constellation when she was still in Austria. It gave the jump start to her healing. And she tried, when she came to the States, she tried to organize already something like this, and it was too early. It was too early. She got the message. It was hard, it was tough on her, but she wanted more challenges, and well, she got them. She needed to do that. And through the baking, we sent her this facilitator. She's doing actually the learning now for this ancestor healing modality that she's into. But she's having a hard time, not with the modality, but with the people. And it's good because she's such a lone wolf all her life. And though she loved people all her life, she didn't want to really mingle with them.
Mm-hmm.
And now she, through this group, they are wonderful beings, of course, but they are not fully awakened, or not, nobody is fully awakened, but they are not awakened to that degree that she might be. She has to understand, to honor everyone's path. And this was always difficult in her life because she always understood faster than others and was judging them for not being as fast. So it's very important that she sticks with this other modality for some time, because this is a form of clientele that will come her way that is very much still what you call asleep,
Mm-hmm.
but also aware enough that they want to work. They have enough pressure in their life already that they want to look for some help other than medication or what is offered in your societies. But of course, she's anxious with her need for speed to go on faster. And because in her head, she been there, done that, did that already. No. As you do Qigong, now you have an understanding what it does to your body, how much more you get out of the exercise because it is slow. And believe it or not, she also did Qigong fast. So after some time, she thought she knows it now, all the moves, and she did not follow the guided exercises anymore that we suggested. So she did it on her own for at least maybe a year. And she got faster and faster with the exercises. So she was wondering why she's done already after 20 minutes, which was an hour usually. And finally she listened again and she said, okay, let me go again and do a guided Qigong. And she realized that she, the same exercises take an hour and not 20 minutes. So she did it consequently, thanks to you and your threat of session that she knew she has to get up to speed. And so she started slowing down and listening, and 6 weeks only guided, not by herself. And all of a sudden she realizes, oh, her body is stretching in ways she could not stretch before. Oh, wow, this is doing this to the body. Oh, I bring in the yin energy. Oh, interesting. And now this is the yang. And I mean, she's really entertaining. I can tell you that. We have a lot of fun on the other side with her. And well, now she's all of a sudden understands that in slowing down, what benefits are there? And this is also with the people she's working in this group, that they are so slow in understanding. It feels so sluggish to her. And even her facilitator, which she loves dearly from her heart, that she does not understand. She is getting not really annoyed, but almost on verges on anger when she keeps saying, I know that it works, but I don't know how it works. That she sometimes wants to go through the screen and shake her and said, I can tell you why it works. But she learns how to take herself back, take yourself back and let the others do their thing at their speed. And that's very important. And that she's learning and she's listening. We always tried throughout her life, but she was rushing over everything and like a bulldozer over everybody without wanting to hurt them, actually, because she's a very considerate person, but not even realizing in her speed what she's doing. So age, thank God for age. I mean, though it's an illusion, but it slowed her down. And the wisdom accumulated, though, and she listened to us. in times when there was really when she had to listen, she listened. So that is it. But in between, oh my God, the detours she made. But this is very important. So she should stick with that for a while. She can even start as a facilitator. She will not lose her connection to this beyond quantum healing sessions because she loves it just too much, and she sees what a bigger potential it holds. But it would be overwhelming for the clientele she will have with the family constellation therapy. She can bring in her own calmness and attitude with it that would already be beneficial, so she can connect easier to the field and all that. Mm-hmm. But it would be overwhelming for people if she brings in other lives. They are struggling with their current lifetime. If you bring in other lifetimes, this is too much. This is too much. Mm. So yeah, she can. Yeah, we don't hold her back when she wants to do making a training program as a facilitator in this modality. She also is interested maybe in some energy work. She likes to work with sounds and stuff like that. So she just started, it's the same thing.
Patience, just patience.
Yeah, exactly. I cannot even find the words at the moment. It's just hilarious. I mean,
she just wants it all.
Yeah, always.
I feel like I relate.
Yeah, you're the same.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, we see that you're the same. That's why I think we brought you together. So we basically catch more flies with one strike here. She has this fairy tale in mind from I don't know the English word. It's a tailor, a little tailor that is so bold, and he's actually a very timid tailor, and he sets out into the world because he could kill with one strike 7 flies, and he's so proud of that. And everybody else he encounters in the world thinks he killed 7 people with one strike, and this is always one of her favorite fairy tales, because you just, whoever you are, whether you're a timid little tailor or you're really this big warrior going out and conquer the world, it doesn't matter, in the end, you're all of it. You're all of it. Mm-hmm. And you don't want to rush through this. You don't want to. That's why you're here, to experience it, to savor it, bit by bit, drop by drop, experience by experience. Savor it, learn to do that. Slow down.
Beautiful. Thank you so much for that. Would you like to take a restroom break?
Yes.
Let's talk a little bit about, she's interested in possibly moving to Arizona. She feels like she received a download to do that. Is that correct?
Yes.
And possibly live in a schoolie or a fixed
That's
up
her
bus.
idea.
That's her idea.
Yeah. Whatever, but Arizona, that was us, yes. And again, it was hilarious because she was settling for, I know she knows she has to leave New York City, and she wanted to, but she thought more in terms like, the East Coast and upstate and pretty Vermont and this kind of things. And then she got Arizona. I think that snapped her out of the meditation. And she started Googling, where's Arizona?
Is there a specific reason that she needs to go there?
Yes, the energies. She needs to go to the north. She knows that because first she said, yeah, I'm living in the desert. Nope. Yeah, we can visit the desert. It's all in one country, but you go to the north. We want her to go to the north. Sedona is very important, but
So you mean the north of Arizona?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. It's very energetically the Sedona. She just learned yesterday from Dr. I don't know where now that is a portal. I don't know who told her, but there's a portal there, very important portal. Lots of energies in Sedona, yeah. And she found it out after she Googled that all the people she always wanted to connect to are actually living in Arizona.
So is that portal something that she needs to connect with? Or is that just there?
People connecting there all the time. Okay. She will be there. All the Congress, all the gatherings are all in Sedona. Mm-hmm. But she doesn't have to live necessarily there, because I think she got shocked when she saw the prices for rentals. Mm-hmm. But then on the other hand, she never believes that anyway. Otherwise, she would not have lived through New York City. So she just, we wanted to go closer to the Grand Canyon. It's in Sedona, but more like in Flagstaff, that area. She can look for some places because she wants to go back to nature. And she found it rather funny of us that we showed her a place that reminded her so much of Austria in just a wider and bigger sense, not for the mountains, but for nature and for the trees, because that's where Flagstaff is. Fir trees, you know, that she grew up with. And then she has this, it's true, this connection with the Native Americans. I think she would like that, to connect with them.
Wonderful. And she's wondering if she should take her daughter with her.
If she comes.
It's her choice.
Yeah. I think that's where she came up with this cool idea that maybe she can coax the daughter to study in Phoenix, and she would be lurking around with the school bus anywhere. She's too funny. But we understand the bus idea. The speed again. Now even the house is on wheels and speedy. No, but no, that she doesn't wanna. She never wanted to be tied down. Mm-hmm. She's too free a spirit. Yeah. That kept her from also forming really meaningful relationships long term. You know, she always would have felt tied down. Yeah.
That's one of her questions. She's not currently in a relationship, but she doesn't really feel the need for one. Mm-mm. What does she need to know about that?
She doesn't have the need right now because it's all about her at the moment. Mm-hmm. But she's honest with herself, which she is to a great extent. She knows, not for nothing does she watch all those Chinese love dramas. It's always about a man and a woman, and they cannot come together, and then they come together and they do great things together. I think she has this is one of her things in this incarnation that she doesn't want to admit that maybe, but we can tell her that she's still interested in having this kind of partnership, which she never experienced. She had a lovely love experience with her first boyfriend. We sent her that because she needed healing after all that childhood trauma. Mm-hmm. And we sent her a really gentle soul. And where she had to do a lot of healing in the heart because she broke his heart, and at the same time, of course, she broke her own heart. But it was necessary because I don't want to say she wasn't carved out, but it was not her focus in this incarnation. The relationship, the relationship was not her focus. She wouldn't have been able to grow to that extent. I don't say that people in a relationship cannot grow, but it's in her particular case, because she's a Scorpio, she comes in with so much love and emotion and sexuality. It would have overwhelmed her. She would not have woken up to that extent. It would have been a different lifetime, but then she wanted it to be the last one. So, we had to pack everything into this one. So that's why she got this first love that took her a while to put that in perspective, but she brought it into perspective.
Is that first relationship, is that still affecting her in any way?
No, she healed that. She healed it with the family constellation modality.
Okay.
She healed that.
And so do you see the potential or the possibility for someone to come into her life down the road if she chooses?
Yes, the potential is always there.
Okay.
But it will take a little while. She's comfortable where she's at, and she's actually fascinated. I think she likes that too, because she would never have believed it if we would have told her, oh, there will be a time in your life there will be no man inside. She would have laughed out loud. And now we are laughing, as you see. Yeah.
So she's wondering if her kids are starseeds. What can
Yes,
you
they
tell her
are.
about that?
Yes, they are.
What's her connection with her kids?
A very strong one. I know she doesn't want to see that with her daughter so much because she's a challenging teenager at the moment. But she is.
Mm.
With her son, she sees it easier. And the connection is there from the same soul family. But she's also more a catalyst for them, for a faster awakening.
Mm. How is she assisting them in that?
Whether they like it or not, by constantly bombarding them. I mean, her son now is, I think, a little bit more open. It's okay, we have to remind her they are still young. Her son is 24, the daughter is 17. She should remember back where she was at that age, and she's a starseed, so she didn't want to hear any of that. She was just living the life, which is fine. So she has, again, it's the same story. She has to allow them their own speed, their own time, their own pace. They are listening. They know that the mother is not crazy. Other kids might have thought that. She was talking about reptilians and we are living all in a prison planet. And they might have seriously considered sending their mom some help, but they understood. And her son maybe more, because he's more mature than the daughter at the moment. And he even felt it himself, that there is some truth to it, because he felt it, the constraints himself. But she knew that instinctively or intuitively, even though she had her crazy moments with them, she still understood that there are two beings that have nothing really to do. Well, they have everything to do with her, but also nothing. They come in as their own little people. They just happen to be in a child's body. She realized that without even being aware of it when they were very little, that they that they cannot reflect who she is, who the father was. They just get maybe the genetic material to look similar, but they are totally different. And she raised them accordingly. So she did not treat them in the same way. And she made sure of that because that's what she suffered so much in her childhood, that, you know, you're the older one, you have to do this and this, and everybody has this strict regimen and both have to follow that. No, one child needs less sleep than the other one. So, you know, one child goes, and if the older one wants to go to bed earlier than the little one, then the little one can stay up. So fine, you know. So she always made sure of that. So in this aspect, she already supported them more than she knows. She always thinks, oh, what did I do to them? I hit them. Yeah, this was not good. But they came in. They knew what might be on the horizon for them.
Mm-hmm.
So
she feels like she didn't even want kids. What what was that about? Did she just choose from a soul perspective? And
of course she didn't want to have kids. It's everything that's tying you down. And kids do that in a big way. So she had, and it's true to a certain extent, she put her own life at halt. And she feels sometimes she has to get over this regret that, if she would have awakened earlier, what would she could have given the children? No, it was all good the way it was. They also have the right to their own learning, to their own path. They chose that path. They knew, they saw that all the potentials are always there. With your own free will, you create the potential that manifests. That's true. But you know the potentials before you come. So you know, quote unquote, the risks. But that is what makes life so interesting, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. What does she need to understand about the middle baby that didn't come in? Why did she choose that experience?
This was a tough on her because it puzzles her that she was not grieving more and that she was not, I mean, she did a little ceremony, but that she was not more heartbroken, because before that she would never have thought that she would even be capable of doing that. Mm-hmm. At the same time, she never judged anybody who did that. So this is not coming from that place. But it was more a service. She was more in this aspect, was more a service of hers that she agreed to before she came in, with the soul of the father of the child. It was more his story, and she felt that on a level, but I think she just wanted to make sure that she does not miss out. And she's all about shadow work and clearing. I want to be clear because I don't want to come back. I want to clear all out. I don't want to come back. And that's why in the last meditation, we showed her, oh yes, maybe you don't want to come back to Earth, but you do want to play again, believe me. She doesn't want to hear that, because in between she got so tired, and it's understandable. I think everybody who is awake in these times and doing some healing work, you get tired, especially when you look in your immediate environment and all these things that happen around you. Mm-hmm. You have the feeling, oh my God, I just want to check out. Come on. I don't want to play this game. She often said to us, and she was toying with suicide at times, you know, but she even voiced it once, and unfortunately towards her son. But he could take it, because on the deeper level, he also understood. On the surface level, of course, he was devastated and started crying, and that shocked her, but it was a good shock because she stopped voicing it, because the kids on the level where they are, they cannot understand where she is coming from. But she had this devastating feeling that it wouldn't make a difference if she's not here. They're doing their own shit here anyway. Why do I need to be here? Yes, you need to be there. Every single one of you counts. I know you cannot wrap your head around that, because it's hammered in you since childhood, from left and right, that you are nothing and nobody. And this is just a program. This is to make the game a little bit more interesting. You know, when you come in with all you know and do, there's no point in playing this game. No point. So it makes it interesting. You have to appreciate also. You have to appreciate the programs. Don't see it as your enemy. This is autopilot. Yeah, well, I can run on autopilot. It's convenient for some time. But it's important to switch off sometimes the autopilot. Once you switch it off, you don't want to switch it back on. We get that too. But it's always it's just to make the game interesting, to expand, to know more, to experience more. Not know more, you know everything already, but to experience, you want to feel it. And here you can touch, feel, sense, you can do everything. You don't know how they envy you from the other side sometimes and say, oh my God, what are they complaining about again? They don't even know how great it is.
Envy you over there.
It goes both ways.
It does.
I mean, I wouldn't call it envy, but we're just exasperated sometimes. Really, what are you? Stop this complaining.
I know, you're right.
It's so wonderful. I mean, we touch each other, we feel each other's energy fields, but you have a hand, use it.
That's it's great that you say that. We need to hear that for sure. What were the contracts between her and the fathers of her children? Or what does she need to understand about that? Anything more than you've shared?
Yeah, it's a contract with both. And again, this goes through her whole life, and this is her being. She will not be able to change that, so forget about it in case she thinks that. She calls it the helping syndrome, but she just wants to help. And the first father, she helped him because he was about to be, a lot of things happened in the physical world for him. You know, he was illegal in the country, and she basically helped him to get the papers. But then she fell in love, and then when she married him, she knew she shouldn't have done that because she doesn't love him on the level she would want to, because they were not on the same page. You know, but they parted. There was no harsh feelings, and he was maybe a little bit more frustrated with her than she was with him because he couldn't understand, but it's okay. And he's part of his story too, you know. She wanted, if that was her thing. If I have children in this lifetime, I want no fathers attached. And she thought in the beginning it's maybe because of her abuse as a child, but it was not only that. She just wanted to do the job alone. She wanted no interference. She wanted to go, you know, this energy comes from being a fractal of Metatron. That's what she wanted, you know. She wanted to be mother and father all in once. And it's not so much that she saw in her immediate friend circle how great it is when a father raises children together with the mother. What a wonderful unity that is. She appreciated that, and she basked in that energy. She loved it, but it was just not hers. So she never felt guilty, and she felt guilty not feeling guilty. She can do that, but she never felt guilty that she actually took the father basically out of the life, because she trusted that the kids wouldn't have come. She always knew that, you know, if they really wanted a dad attached. And both of her kids, though both have contacts to the fathers, they are fine with it. I mean, the daughter struggles a little more because the father is more present. He's living in the same city, and sometimes she told the mother that she wished the father would be more like the imaginary father that she always had in her mind. But then again, that's the path of her daughter. That's her challenge that she cannot interfere with. So it's all good. She should forget this guilt. It was fine. And she stopped after the second child because then she realized the pattern and she said, oh no, I'm not doing that again. And she stopped with that she wanted the kids because she always got the kids when the relationship was over. She went back and took the kid and ran with the kid. And it's okay. So she made an agreement like that. And the fathers were fine with that. It was part of their journey. And the second one was a little bit more challenging, but then she always takes on what she calls the hopeless cases, which is never hopeless, we know, but the really tough ones. And she tried very hard, but she tried always, the help was always to change the people by living the best example. And then she hoped it would rub off. No, it does for the time being, but when they're not in her presence, then they were themselves again. So, it made her realize the help you can give is you just plant seeds. That's all you're doing. You plant seeds. This is more. Just look at a seed, please, and see that it becomes this oak tree. If you ever saw the seed of an oak tree, you cannot wrap your human brain and mind around that this actually, you have miracles in front of you on a daily basis and you don't pay attention. This tiny seed becomes this big, strong tree. True, it takes a while for in earth time. But believe me, it's not even a blink of an eye. It's not even that long. So be happy that you plant seeds. You don't have to transform everybody. Transform yourself, work on that. That is perfect. That is wonderful. We will cheer you on that all the time. But stop dabbling in transforming others. This is an energy that is, I don't want to say wasted. There is no wasted energy, but it's misdirected. Direct the energy towards yourself. And when they come to you and ask for help, well, there you go. Then you can dabble as much as you want with our help. But unless this happens, the energy is dispersed and does not even hit the target. This does not mean you should stop trying altogether and be compassionless and, oh, he's a hopeless case, let's move on. No, we don't mean that. You do what you can without giving up your energy. Because a lot of you do no exchange of energies, you give up your energy. You pump it into the other. But it cannot be taken in because this person is not ready. It is not at the same frequency. It does not resonate with you. If it would resonate, it would take in the energy and would give it back to you. So there would never be a loss of energy. You would never feel drained. It would always be, it's never a one-way road. It's always an exchange. That is the perfect. This is also the perfection in the sexuality that you have on earth. But who reaches that there? Who? I know it's hijacked to a certain degree because it's so powerful. The darkness, when they wanted a little bit gain power, they cannot allow this power to flow freely. So this was the first thing to be attacked. But even religion attacked that. So they made sure from all corners, this is covered because it's so powerful. But I mean, there are many couples who experience that despite all the hijacking. Might be only in moments, but they experience that. This exchange of energies. You don't need to be a higher frequency being to have the ultimate love experience. No. That's the challenge here. You can experience that on this level.
Beautiful. Thank you for that information. So she's wondering about her dear friend and sister, Miki, who transitioned a couple of years ago. Is she her guide or one of her guides?
She knows that. That's because she got that information in her first session that she did. that they are actually twin sisters from the Pleiades.
Oh,
That they are.
beautiful.
She actually has a body there in a pot, and her sister is waiting for her to come back, but she doesn't want to hear that because she doesn't want to go nowhere except home.
Straight to source.
Yeah.
Do not pass go.
Yeah. And she can touch base, no worries. When she's done with that life, she will go home. But as we tell her, she will just touch base. Okay, hi, see ya. And yeah, now she knows that. And yeah, that's why the first year she was constantly on the beach. I mean, she loved the beach, but not as much as her sister, because her sister was every day almost on the beach here. And she was always wondering, why is she always saying, I mean, I love to swim, I want to be, but otherwise it's so boring at the beach. If I don't swim at the beach, what am I doing at the beach? Why is she always at the beach? And her sister transitioned, and all of a sudden she is going every day to the beach. We are going every day to the beach, sitting at the beach, staring at the ocean in the cold, under lockdown, every day in the bus, alone in the bus, so happy going to the beach. Yeah.
Does she have any messages that she'd like to bring through for Daniela today?
I miss you, old girl. Yeah. So do I. But she knows I'm always here. She knows. She talks to me all the day long. And it's so long that I say, okay, I have other stuff to do too. No, I'm joking. She can talk to me all the time, but she misses our jokes. It's true. On the other side, the jokes are not the same anymore. Though I help her on. I help her on. I actually made her watch all these old Austrian movies, and in the beginning she almost freaked out because I was the one who always watched in our native tongue the movies, and I told her about it. I said, "Well, let's watch it together." And she said, "What are you? No, I want to speak English. I'm not interested in Austrian." And so I always was alone watching these movies, but now we watch them together. And you should hear her laugh, because because that's the thing she misses most. The jokes are made in our language. We have a great dialect that can express so much more than the German. And we can express the nuances, with one word. You can say it's like actually you can compare it to I cannot find the word now. Speaking without words. Telepathy.
Telepathy, yes.
It's our language is a little bit like telepathy, because you say one word. I think it's with a lot of dialects like that, and you get the whole picture. You can. The word is not just a word, but it can mean that, and it depends on your frame of reference to really understand what the person was saying. Yeah, so she misses that. But she can have that when she listens to these old movies where they speak still from the 1950s. We spoke a language so old from the 1950s. We actually, because both of us grew up with grandparents, so we speak the old variety of this dialect that's, I think, not even spoken anymore. And we only hear that in the old movies, and this is entertaining. We have a lot of fun doing that together. And then I'm on the beach, and in the happy spots, I yanked her out in nature. I mean, she thinks it's all herself, but I got news for you. It's me too. And she got that at one point, because she said, "Why am I hugging a tree all the time?" I mean, she loved nature, but she was a city girl. I was the one always telling her, so it's okay.
And are her grandmother and grandfather also her guides, or have they reincarnated?
They're here.
Do they have any messages they'd like to bring through?
They're very happy for me. My grandmother understands now why I wasn't following her to church so readily. She was always loving to me. I loved her very much. She was a very strict mother. But she was a very, very gentle and dear grandmother. And I love her still. She loves me. My grandfather too. My grandfather was very important in my life to show me before I dove into the despotic father scenario that man can be gentle. I was a very gentle grandfather too. I loved him also very much. They are here. They are not my guides, but whenever I think of them, they are there.
Mm. Beautiful. Thank you so much for those messages. What was the out-of-body experience that she had when she was 16?
This was all her doing. She just didn't want to deal with the situation, and she wasn't aware she could do that. So she was under great stress because this boy wanted to kiss her. This brought her under great stress. But not only that, because her father knew about that she was wandering with this guy. So it was a lot of pressure was on her. Otherwise, she would not have left the body, and she just didn't want to deal with it and leave it behind. Well, she saw how far she went with that. And though she didn't put too much attention on it because she did not know what to do with that experience. It helped her in later years, actually, until recently, it helped her to realize even more and more that you are not your body. And that because she's very suspicious, and was all her life, whenever she heard an information, she never took it just at face value. She had to find out what is going on. This is really true. She couldn't find it out. She took it, but always with a grain of salt, even if she might have followed it, or, she was always ready to give it up if something more truthful came her way. So she did that, yeah. What was the question? I forgot the
Very
question.
good. Just the out-of-body experience.
Yeah, this was just to give her an idea that it's true. When we keep telling you you are not your body.
So around the age of 7, she said she lost the fear of dying because she got so scared that she asked for help. What was that experience about?
Yeah, it started, I think when her abuse started, she got so scared because I think she wanted to leave. She didn't want to live through it. And so we helped her to show her that she wouldn't disappear like she thought. She would still be here and would want to deal with it. So, but we showed her not only not to fear death, but not to fear. That she is bigger than all of this. And we stayed with her for a while. That's why she could do it for a while. But then we took it away from her. Because again, if you're not ready for that, then it's just a distraction from the lessons you want to learn. She also was flying in her dream. She often says, "Oh, I wish I could do that again." She could, but she will learn how to fly not only in her dreams. She can leave your body, but she has to first be more grounded. Because if she leaves her body now, she's gone. We know her. And there are a few people who still need you there. Your kids are among them, but others you didn't even meet yet. No. It ain't over till it's over, baby. Remember that.
You got a little more to go. What was happening around the age of 30 when she, or in her 30s, when she had what she feels like was a demon experience 3 nights in a row and had sleep paralysis? What was happening there?
Yeah, this was all the... She postponed it to look at it. I mean, she could have postponed it indefinitely, but again, she wanted to release everything in this lifetime, so we had to help her on. And all the darkness through her experiences that accumulated, all the negativity she grew up with. Let's not dive too deep into that. It's all in the past. It has no significance anymore. But it needed to come to the surface to start her healing.
Mm.
And that's why she was so afraid, because she went into this, it was the fear of her childhood that she thought she already conquered, which she did, but this was the connection. She had to go through that again to be able to voice it. You have to face it once. You don't have to. She dragged it out a little bit. She could have done it in the first night, but she got so scared. And once she realized that nothing comes outside of you, because the first couple of nights she thought, this is really a demon that comes from the outside. How can you protect yourself from some attack from the outside like that? And what to do? She was never into any occult. She never read about it. She was never interested in any of that. So she had no reference point. How to protect herself if such a thing really exists? It comes from the outside, but it felt like like it feels now for people that everything comes from the outside towards them. Then that's why so many are in fear now. She realized at that point she had the connection. She lived through it, but you have to live through it to understand. If somebody tells you that, you don't believe it. You cannot. You have to make the experience, and then nobody can take it away from you. So she experienced that. She faced the fear. She looked it in the eye. She saw him in those ugly faces in the water. And then she realized, oh my God, it's just me doing that. How can I be afraid of myself? Then she realized everything came out of herself. So if she can bring that up, she can put that back where it came from and dissolve it. It's just a catalyst. It's a catalyst. That's why give appreciation to the dark side too. This doesn't mean you have to start worshiping it. It goes too far. But from time to time, no anger, because the darkness feeds off that. Send them love and they hate that if you like that. But
kill them with kindness.
Exactly. Send them appreciation and say, I honor you and I respect that. This doesn't mean I allow you in anymore, but I respect that the path you're on. And I'm wishing you all the best and love. In the end, we all will come together again.
Beautiful. So she keeps getting this info that there are people inserted into our matrix called backdrop people or matrix people. Can you tell us a little bit about that, or what she considers to be those backdrop people?
Yes, I think she voiced it already when she was talking to you. This is just part of the game. This is just an insert of the program that was here. These people will disappear eventually. They have no need. There's no need in a higher dimensional frequency for those people, you know.
Can you explain what they are or how they're here? How does that work?
So they are here, inserted by the program, again, to make the program more interesting. If you know there's only 30 people on your block, I don't know if you would be so happy to play, unless you're really a nature freak and love that you're alone with nature. But you also want, at least she wanted the experience of the city, you know. And she always was so proud that, okay, they say 8 million people in New York City, but it's actually more than 12 million people. She was so happy to living in a city with 12 million people, even more than the census said, because not everybody obviously is saying. They're here. Well, I got news for you. There are not even 8 millions in this city. There are maybe, let's say, 3.5 millions. The rest is backdrop people.
Wow. And so, what do these backdrop people do? Do they live normal lives like we do? What is the difference
They are
between?
there. Look, they are there when you put your intention on them.
Ah,
They fade into nothingness or nothingness. They fade into the program bag when you don't pay attention to them. That does not mean this is a program. They are fully equipped with memories, with a life story. They have kids. They which are not matrix, because then the kids keep them basically in the program. The real kids, the soul inhabited kids. Let's put it that way. Nothing is real in your plane anyway. So, but they are there to make it more interesting, and they can use for good and for bad, if you want, for lack of a better term. If you wanna, okay, you live the city life. Oh, you love this. So many people are there, and she still remembers when there was the blackout in New York City, and all of a sudden everybody had to come up from the subway system, and it was like an ant march when they walked over Brooklyn Bridge, and the bridge started swinging. She was in heaven. This is what she was thriving off. That's what she loved. She went down Fifth Avenue before Christmas time just to bask in the energy with people moving down the street. She didn't want to shop there. She just wanted to swim in the energies. It's like a treat. It was like a treat for her living in this with this many people. So the more the merrier. And there are not so many real souls incarnated on this planet as you might think. They always talk of 7 billion. There are not 7 billion souls here. This planet would not hold so many souls. It's a small planet. But that's why they always talk about overpopulation. And yeah.
Can you give us a rough estimate of how many souls you think are here?
It's always about more than 50% a backdrop. Okay. So around 3.5 billion.
Wow. That's fascinating. So could the people that live around us, like you said, in our neighborhood, could those be backdrop people that we interact with on a regular basis?
Absolutely, absolutely. But don't get too hung up on that. I mean,
don't go seeking them out.
Yeah, because then unless you're really enlightened and really understand what's going on, then you can do that. And she started dabbling in that a little bit, and we allowed it because even one of her friends is a backdrop person, but I think she lost her nerve now because of that with her, because she's, oh my God, it's a moot point. But no, see it as a training. It's like a training ground. It's when you play a game. She never gamed, but her son did, and she watched a little bit as long as she could stand it. And you get interaction with the backdrop people. They are there for a reason, also in a game, So we don't want to elaborate too much on that, because they're part of the game, and they will disperse. And whatever you might, it's individual what people might think. If you go fear-based, then you think, oh my God, they all died off because of the vaccine or whatever. They will disappear. And there will be, in the new earth that everybody is waiting for, which is already here, there will be less and less people. And not some of them will also exit, of course, souls who say, okay, I want to try again, or I do something else, or whatever they decide. But half of it, you can be assured of, will just disappear because there is no need for them anymore. They fulfilled the purpose of the game. The game is gone, and now that's why I don't know. This one, she is into aliens and all that, and she knows that there are planets. They are never overpopulated. Why they are never overpopulated? Because when they reach a certain level of higher civilization, they turn interstellar, and they go out of an adventure and seek for another planet that needs seeding, that needs inhabitants, you know?
Mm.
So the planets are never overpopulated. Here, of course, the lid was kept on, so we are already interstellar. This civilization is already interstellar. It's just the majority of people doesn't know it yet. But there is a different consciousness involved, and you will not do this to your planet, that you put 7 billion people on one planet. I mean, really? On a small Earth like that? No, no. But it works as a catalyst to wake up people and see, what are you doing? Because of global warming, of course, is an agenda. But the truth is, you are harming Gaia. You don't harm her to that extent that she cannot deal with that. But you harm yourself more than you actually harm Gaia. You harm yourself when you put toxins in your water, toxins in your soil, toxins in the air. You do this to yourselves. Gaia is resilient. Gaia will be there no matter. Don't worry about Gaia. You know, it's an agenda. This global warming is an agenda. Don't pay attention to that. But the truth is that there are problems. From whatever, let's not go into that. There are other sources that can tell you about that. But you have to understand, going to the backdrop people, that they also work as a catalyst. So that's why it's not common knowledge, and it's not out there more that this is in existence, because people would abuse it, you know. And I just mistreat you because you're not real anyway. What the heck, you know? No. You learn. You learn with them also. They are necessary to keep the game going. But she likes it now because she's not engaged emotional anymore. Before, she almost collapsed when she saw a homeless in the street. It came her way. And I mean, she always gives, but she's always emotionally attached. Oh my God, this story, what's his story, and why is he dead? I know. And she was homeless herself at one point, so she feels very attached to that. And now she knows, and she checks back. She knows now. She doesn't even have to check anymore. She knows. She gets a feeling who is Matrix and not. And she still gives money to the Matrix. She's okay with that. But she's not emotionally involved anymore, that she says, oh my God, it's okay. Thank you for doing this. It's important to remind us that there are less fortunate souls out there who have a more difficult path. And let's not forget that we have to have compassion for everybody. You know, so they are placeholders. You can see them like that.
Very good. That's fascinating. And so she recently got a Starseed reading, which confirmed, and we've already talked about this a little bit, that she's got an aspect from the Pleiades. But she got as her mission the following: that you have entered a soul contract to serve humanity as a Pleiadian heart healer, especially for the children on this planet. What does she need to know about that?
I know she does not see that yet, or believe that fully. That's what she asks. Well, she always had an affinity to small children, to babies. At most 2 years, then she lost interest. So that's her interest group. So 0 to 2. And she had to keep up the interest, because that's why she also got 2 kids of her own, to show her that all ages have their stages and interests. So that was important also for her to have these 2 kids, because she would have been hung up only on babies and babies and babies. But she does that. She did it all her life without really being conscious about that. You know, humans get hung up on doing stuff or organizing things, and she loves to organize, and everything has to be in order, and think up how can she do that better, and this and this. Why don't you just be for a moment? you know, just be. Sometimes she shares just a glimpse with a passing by child, or she talks to a mother about the child, and she actually experienced it being on the other side, because when she was in the subway and the kids were going out of control and because they couldn't sit still so long, other people jumped in and helped her with her kids. And she does that now sometimes, you know. She always helps the kids. She spoke to the kids when they came with racist remarks towards her kids. She never she taught them in a very gentle way what the parents couldn't teach them. And the kids always listen. I mean, kids are amazing at this age because they're like a sponge. They open for everything, and for everything is everything. You know, the good, the bad, and the ugly. You get that all. So, if she feels called to it in the future, she can work with kids more. You know, expand it. Maybe not with only babies, but whatever comes her way, she knows. She's always scared that she has to be a nanny for somebody and she has to be the babysitter of her grandchildren. No, we are not talking about that. It can be part of her healing work that she's drawn to. And this has to blossom. It has to give it some time. She just started. She always feels, I'm so old and now I have all this knowledge. No, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. And we can tell her she will be around for quite some time, maybe longer than she wants to. But so she doesn't have this need for speed. She has to give it time. And at this time, that's all we can reveal to her.
Wonderful. Thank you for that. So she has 2 cats, both are handicapped. She wants to know why did they choose her? She says she doesn't really want animals or didn't want animals. Why does she have those
well,
cats?
She loves, no, she loves animals. She just doesn't. She is tired of taking care
responsibility.
of raising 2 kids and now the cats, and I think she doesn't want to clean anymore after them. She's tired of that for some time. All her life she was interested in animals. She had a horse. She was sitting and sleeping in this box of with the horse. So all her life she loved animals. And she had a cat in Austria. She an aunt had a dog. Every morning she was 12 years or 13 years, a teenager. Every morning she went with the bus to walk the dog. She went with the bus into the city for 20 minutes just to get the dog and walk him. So she loves animals, but she just feels overwhelmed with the responsibility at times, because I think now because she woke up, she wants hug all the time for herself, but that's not how it works. We have to tell her, I'm sorry about that. And we sent them to her, and we had a hard time sending them. That's why they are actually disabled, because she never took in a healthy cat. Okay. She has a fish, but it's okay. This is all she could do. And she loves the fish. She loves fish. She loves the ocean. She loves to swim. So that's all good. But the unconditional love does not work so well with the fish. Okay. It goes a little bit one way. It goes both ways a little bit. He's happy to see her every morning when she feeds him. So, but the cats, and the first one was the white one. Actually, the first one was not even the white. She had another cat, and this cat was he was the entryway, because he was not disabled, and he wanted to connect with her, and of course she did not. So her sister and her daughter started feeding him on the side without her knowing. And then he kept coming more and more. And then she realized that, and she put a stop to that. No, she doesn't want no cat. Until half a year later, she finds the cat together with her daughter in the street, totally thin. And she recognized, because it was a very significant color. And she asked the cat like that out loud, "What are you doing here so thin?" And the cat came to her and purred. And I think that was the end of her. And so she took the cat in and fed him. But again, he was a needy cat. So she didn't want to take in any animal that could well survive in the wilderness. For her, this goes against her grain to take. Also, that's why she doesn't have dogs, because she feels like city life is not conducive, which might be true to a certain extent, but then they're your companions. They show you unconditional love. And she wanted to see the unconditional love or feel it from Jesus. And now she has this cat, and this unconditional love is every day 24/7 around her. And she doesn't appreciate that. So they are there for the unconditional love.
Beautiful. Is there any healing that we can send to the cats today? Anything that they need?
They're both fine. She just has to give them a little bit more of her time. She does that lately. She realized that that's the point maybe of having a cat, to take her and snuggle up with her. She's always complaining that the tiger is a little bit too wild. That's why we chose this one, because she has to understand that it's like with people. They all are different. There might be two cats, but they are all different. A different soul is in there. They have a different expression. And the disability not only happened for her benefit, that happened also for the benefit of the souls that are in those two cats. Of course, it had to be a match, as you would call it. So we will not heal, we will not regrow the second eye of the one cat that lost one eye. She already helped that the cat did not lose both eyes, because that was actually the initial idea, that she has a totally blind cat. But she managed to save, together with the surgeon that she appreciates so much, to save this one eye for this cat. So this cat is wonderful and perfectly content with the life she has. She just wishes that she gives her a little bit more love, since the little one is here. She feels a little bit left out. That's why she took her in this night and slept with her in the same bed in the whole night. And the tigered one, he shows her, even though I'm a rough one, and the roughness comes, of course, also from the disability, because he doesn't know he's disabled. He's just doing what a cat does. He wants to jump, to whatever he does. He wants to chase the white one. And he does it to his best ability. And this is, of course, like a tank moving through her apartment. And she feels worried at times that he's hurting himself because he hits his head sometimes so hard. And she can think of maybe putting up some carpets here and there, that he's not always hitting it so hard. But he learned to live with his disability. So it's part of his path. So we won't be able to heal that, though she tried so hard. She read all about it, and then she didn't want to accept it. And she thought, she was hoping in this session we can heal him and he can walk on water for her. But no, this is part of his contract. So we can send him healing and love. That's no problem. But this is his path. It's important that he stays that way.
Very good. Thank you for that. Is there anything that we missed today, or any final messages that you'd like to bring through for Daniela?
We just want to tell her she did great. I know she didn't expect that. She stopped worrying a lot lately, but she was worried a little bit about the session. But she realized not once did she think she makes it all up. So she's already happy with that.
She's not. She's definitely not.
And she knows that the connection is getting stronger, because thanks to you, Heather, she's meditating now on a regular basis. We want to thank you for that. And yeah, we're just happy that everything is working out so fine, so well. She's our asset here, and she woke up, and it's just the beginning. We just have to, it's like riding a horse. You should see it like riding her horse that she did. The horse always wanted to gallop. Of course, she loved it, but she had to keep in the reins a little bit because it was not time yet. They were not there where they could really gallop freely. It would have been too dangerous for the environment to gallop already, or the horse was not ready yet. You know, you have to be in tune. So keep in your reins a little bit, and then you will know when you can speed ahead in free gallop. So it's all good. We love you very much. And we are so glad you listened to us. You found Heather. We knew she's a perfect match. And we thank Heather for that. We love you both beyond measure. We cannot express.
Thank you so much. How were Daniela and I connected today? Do we have any past life connections or soul contracts?
You belong to the same oversoul.
Oh.
Not immediate soul family, but the oversoul.
Mm-hmm. Beautiful.
Yeah.
I know we both definitely felt that strong connection. So,
yeah, you shared lifetimes. The witch was one, that's true.
The one we were talking about?
Yeah.
Interesting. Very good.
Yeah.
And who all were we speaking with today during this session?
Now it's the higher self. But they were all here. There was Metatron and Jesus and Source. But now it's the higher self.
Well, it has been an absolute pleasure to speak with all of you. And thank you so much for bringing through this amazing information today. I know it's going to be a great benefit to Daniela. And I enjoyed all of the laughs.
Yeah, she likes that.
Beautiful. Anything else, or are we complete today?
We are complete.
Beautiful.